What's up everybody, this is BR, and if you haven't heard, Overwatch is getting a collaboration with One Punch Man, and while we already knew that Doomfist was gonna get the One Punch Man outfit, this week Blizzard decided to reveal to the Xbox Wire that Doomfist was not gonna be the only character to receive a costume out of this. Kiriko is also as well, who is another character from the One Punch Man franchise. Obviously, it's very big news. The only other collaboration that Overwatch had was back in 2019 with LEGO. Not to mention that with games like Overwatch and Apex, you really don't see collaboration to this extent where you kind of have an obvious collaboration. Apex Legends already had an anime-inspired collection event where you had these skins that were inspired by other anime characters, but obviously they didn't license them. Instead, they kind of just were inspired by them. It wasn't one-to-one, and I'm pretty sure Respawn wasn't paying any other company in order to use those designs. They were just heavily inspired. So to see Overwatch doing this was kind of surprising. Now personally, I'm not really interested. I don't really like playing Doomfist or Kiriko at all, as well as I don't really follow anime at all. But what I do find curious is just how they're executing this collaboration. Because the only other AAA studio that's running a live service game right now that does this kind of heavy collaboration is Fortnite. And Fortnite, all they do is take the characters themselves and just put them in the universe. I think what Overwatch is doing is actually a lot more unique, and I definitely think that it deserves a lot more praise than, people are giving it credit for. Because while this is a collaboration with an already existing IP, it is done in such a way and executed beautifully that I personally think is just done way greater than either Call of Duty or Fortnite. Because it's one thing to just insert characters from another IP, and it's another thing when you're doing it the same way that Overwatch is doing it. Which, let me explain. See, in an interview with Dion Rogers, the art director for Overwatch, on the Xbox Wire article, that the characters are still themselves in these costumes. They're just cosplaying the characters that they recognize. And in some way, the characters are actually quite big fans, and that's why they're cosplaying as those other characters. So to put it in simple terms, both Doomfist and Kiriko are big fans of One Punch Man in the Overwatch universe. And honestly, I think this is one of the best ways to approach it when you have a hero-based game, because you're not erasing the identity that's already there, and you're just expanding on the characters even more. But I think the following reason onto why they chose to go with this kind of cosplay method is a lot more respectable when it comes to a game designer perspective. You see, in a game like Overwatch that has kind of like this cartoony art style, they use the art style to their advantage to improve the gameplay of the game. And in one of those instances, it's readability. You have to know who you're fighting up against so you know exactly what to do. If somebody was disguised in such a way that you couldn't tell one hero from another, then that would get really annoying because you would have to guess, oh, is this person gonna be able to aggress me or is he gonna be playing more passively? When somebody is easily readable, you exactly know what to do on that situation. Unfortunately, Overwatch really isn't readable with the costumes because with many Overwatch characters, they have costumes that change their entire look. So you can't really depend on their costumes to kind of tell what character they are, especially when a lot of the heroes either look the same or have similar looking outfits. See, both Kiriko and Mercy have outfits that make them look like witches, so obviously they're going to be hard to tell apart based on their costume alone. Not up close, but at a distance where readability really matters. So what does Overwatch rely on? They rely on silhouettes. Both Kiriko and Mercy have very distinct parts of their outfits that stand out that allows you to kind of tell exactly what they are. According to the art director Dion Rogers, Kiriko has that kind of skirt thing going on for her. And while it's not mentioned, Kiriko also runs very differently compared to Mercy. So from a distance, you'll be easily able to tell them apart just by how they run and how they stand, and also specific parts of their clothing that stand out. All in all, that's their unique silhouette. Dion Rogers also talks about Doomfist on how while they did want to make him look like One Punch Man as closely as possible, they're not going to give him a very overbearing cape, because that of course is going to change his silhouette. I mean, it could be argued that Doomfist's movement kind of sets him apart from other characters anyway, but I still think that's a very smart way to just keep things consistent. Who knows, maybe by adding a cape, destroying his silhouette, you really can't telegraph what he's doing. That's another important thing, being able to telegraph exactly what they're doing and what they're gonna do based on their movement. Doomfist's blocking, punching, and body slam have different positions and styles, and of course different postures. So it's very easy to tell what he's doing and what he's gonna do next. All just while looking at the character in general. You don't need any kind of notification or some sort of sound cue. Obviously, those do help, but with a game like Overwatch where there's just so much going on, seeing something clearly just helps. Especially with Overwatch. Overwatch just has an abundance of particle effects. By no means do I think Overwatch has a clean picture, but that's besides the point. I do think that the approach that they're doing with these characters is very good. So all in all, I think this collaboration has been executed just wonderfully. We have something that goes beyond just making kind of like these parody outfits that have inspiration of these characters. Instead, we do have the actual source material. Likewise, a collaboration isn't going to affect the game whatsoever because of how well it's implemented. You're keeping the aesthetics of Overwatch as well as keeping the lore all consistent, while at the same time being able to wear something of another property that you really like. If you like Overwatch and you like One Punch Man, this is definitely a great bundle. And personally, I think it could have gone way worse. Like, for example, and just give me a moment to rant about this, alright? By the end of Modern Warfare 2019's life cycle, things really started going off the rails. They started experimenting with a lot of characters that were licensed, but not necessarily thought out in the most well ways to be incorporated into the game. I mean, you got all these Halloween costumes of these serial killers and also the guy from Saw, and it really was just jarring seeing those characters there. I mean, you had Modern Warfare 2019, which was this very serious return to form to Call of Duty from the futuristic styles that was that previous generation of Call of Duty, and instead now you had all these costumes and stuff, and it seems like they've gone full into that kind of monetization scheme with these recent Call of Duty titles, and honestly, that's just made me get away from Call of Duty even more. They've pretty much destroyed that kind of escapism of the game by having all these things that just don't mix well together. I mean, seriously, dude, the fucking anime gun in a World War II setting, that was just fucking stupid. So, you know what? Here's to Overwatch for doing something very well, executing it greatly, having an art direction that is still being kept consistent, while at the same time being able to cater to fans not only of Overwatch but also of all these other properties, and I'm actually excited on what is going to be seen next. According to the art director, they would definitely like to do either Street Fighter or Dragon Ball sometime in the future, and I definitely do hope that they keep this consistency going. I mean, Soldier wearing a Guile costume? Dude, that would look fucking sick. And hell, I wouldn't even mind seeing Doomfist getting something from Dragon Ball. I mean, Dragon Ball is all about fighting, and you have Doomfist there, he could definitely be rocking a Kid Buu outfit, dude. You know, the white pants with the little M on the belt buckle? Or how about an Android 18 costume? Come on, come on. You know that Fortnite really fucked up by having Bulma in the fucking game, dude. Who the fuck gives a shit about Bulma? But anyways, tell me what you think about this collaboration. I personally think that it's a very well executed collaboration that just does everything right, keeps the art style consistent while at the same time not affecting gameplay, catering to both fan bases of One Punch Man and Overwatch. Make sure to leave your opinion down in the comment section below. If you found this video interesting, like it if you like it, dislike it if you disliked it, and if you'd like to see more content just like this, make sure to subscribe. And if you'd like to support this channel, I do have a Patreon in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to my fellow patrons, and I will talk to you guys later.